Hi guys, how we doing? Happy Monday. Monday is here whether we like it or not, so we're gonna make the best of it and make something pretty. How we feeling out there? I am a little worn out. It's been a very long Monday. How about you guys? Weekend wasn't quite long enough for me. I have a feeling that if I were to go back and watch all of my Monday makers, I probably say that every single week, but it's so true, right? The weekends are just not long enough, and my kids are on fall break right now, which doesn't really mean much of anything because we are doing, at home distance learning, but they all got to sleep late this morning, and I was like, dang, that's not fair. That is not fair at all. Hey, Stacia. Hey, Jessica. Hey, Joan. Hey, Tina. Hi, everybody. How we doing? It is so good to see you guys. Miss Joan, Christy, Sylvia. I'm so happy to see you guys. So tell me, how was your weekend? Was your weekend too short? I know about Joan's weekend. Joan had a good weekend. She had some incidents while shopping this weekend. Hey, Steph. How are you doing? Kathy says, hunky-dory. Kind of feeling that way myself. There's Miss Jane. Hi, guys. So, excuse me. Let's get right down to business, shall we? We have, Julie says, sorry, I get sidetracked, you guys. Julie says, you have a bunch of new goodies hanging in your window. Yeah, I had to rearrange a little bit. I missed my skulls back there, so I put my, my Chiefs banner over here and put the skulls back. I thought they were, they're good for Halloween. They're good for all the time. They're just pretty and colorful. And yeah, I have some yarn that I hung up back there as well, just because it was becoming a mess. Hi. Okay, so let's get to it. Like I started to say just a second ago, you guys, some new Shorty strands dropped last week. Did you see them? Did you see them? Did you? Okay, so they're gorgeous. I'm going to touch on those. We're going to use one of those. I'm going to talk about all that in just a second, but let's get down to business with the weekly deals because they change every Monday, and it is Monday. So here we go again with some great ones, you guys. These are really exciting as well. So the first weekly deal for the new week we've got going on is buy 4, get 1 free on caged crystal beads. And the code for that is Caged Sparkle. And Marianne says, there was a weekend? That's kind of how I feel. I did get to spend some time on the couch yesterday, but it just wasn't enough. So Caged Sparkle is the code for the buy 4, get 1 free on the caged crystal beads. And you're going to need to use that one. I'm just saying. That's a really, really special deal. And then next is 10% off of all chain. And it just so happens that we're using a little bit of chain tonight in our design. That is by no accident. That was very much on purpose. And the code for that is chain10. And then last but not least is 30% off of charms and pendants. And that is also an exceptional deal, you guys. And the code for that is Bling It. Bling It. And don't forget, guys, when you go to checkout and you're using a coupon code, if you've never used a coupon code before, do not put any spaces, okay? Don't put the spaces in there because it won't take them, and that's no good. And then you get frustrated and just don't do it. Okay, so what's new? There are 5 brand new Shorty strands, and I've got them. I have all 5 of them. You know I do. You know I do. And they are so dang pretty. And you guys, let me just be the first to say that this is just the beginning of some really wonderful things that are coming your way. I mean, there's always good stuff coming your way with Jesse James Beads, but I got to tell you, I happen to have the insider scoop on a lot of really good stuff coming at you. These are so good. Hi, Catherine. Did you watch any more of Bly Manor? I have 3 episodes left. I'm going to finish it tonight. I'm so excited. I was just thinking about that earlier, and I've been walking around the house today calling everything perfectly splendid. Okay, so first of all, this was the first strand that really kind of got me super pumped about these new Shorty strands, and it's because of the piece of quartz that is in the middle of it. And everybody's is going to be a little bit different, but they're all, look at it. It wants to just, yes, it wants to be a something. I can't decide what. I almost want to make a ring out of it. Look at that. Oh, I just don't know what I want to do with it, but that's the cool part, right? Is trying to figure it out. There's so many things you can do with it. And this gorgeous strand that goes along with it, with the blacks and the whites and the grays. I mean, it's just classic yumminess. Seriously, with the antique silver. This is going to make the most amazing bracelet. It's going to make a gorgeous necklace. Yeah, I'm loving it. So this was the first one that I saw, and I was like, oh, can I have that one, please? Please send that to me. And then I was fortunate enough to get the rest of these as well. So this one is probably my second favorite. It's got a bunch of chalcedony in it, and it is just this yummy, yummy. Look at that. Why am I using that word lately? I don't know why, but that has become my new, Maggie says it too, yummy, has become my new word to describe all of the new things that are coming out this season. And I just can't think of a better word because they just really are just yummy, right? They're just beautiful. So gorgeous. The chalcedony has these pops of kind of like violet, blue, purple. I don't even know how to describe it, but I was really excited. I was with Sarah when she picked up this strand of chips. It was so good. So good. All right. And then there is a jade strand that is absolutely gorgeous. If you love green, you're going to love this one. And guys, the jade beads that are on this are large hole beads. So if you love leather, this made me think of my friend Joan immediately because of the large hole jade beads that are on here, because she likes to take leather and make leather knotted jewelry. She's got this necklace, you guys. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And these jade beads right here would look beautiful on some real thick, well, not like super thick, but like, you know, 1.5, 2 millimeter leather. It would look really, really beautiful. This is just a gorgeous, gorgeous strand. They all are, honestly. And then the tiger's eye strand has those gorgeous, look at those beads. Look at these guys. Like this, can't stop, won't stop. That's this strand. Like it's got everything in it. You've got your facets. You've got this mystic coat on those. You've got this like crazy bling. You've got your faceted and your tiger's eye star. I believe that's star cut. Ugh. This is perfect. Perfect color, perfect strand for fall. All of these are. But this really, to me, speaks October to me. And then last but not least is the strand that we're going to use tonight. And I have a hard time deciding which one I like, the most, whether it's the one with the chalcedony or this one with the agate. I'm a huge, huge agate fan. I love agate because it is natural, but it is so versatile because you can dye it and change it and make it anything you want it to be. And it is so, I don't know what the word is, but it's like the chameleon of gemstones, right? It can be literally anything. And I think that nature provides that for us is just incredible. So that's what this is. This is the desert agate strand. Look at these beads. Look at that. I think you've got these great big ones in here. You've got this gorgeous faceted glass that has all the sparkle that you could ever want. There is also the antique copper that I am feeling for the fall. I mean, it's just gorgeous. So this is a very desert or ocean. And it's amazing to me that it can be either one of those, right? Just depends on how you're feeling. If you're feeling oceany with this one, totally rocking the beach vibes with it. But otherwise, if you're feeling desert with this, I see that as well. So these strands are absolutely gorgeous. Luster, yeah, the luster coating on these. Yeah, yes. Running out of words. Yes. Vicky says agate and jasper are always gorgeous. I agree, right? And they're not exactly the most expensive gemstones in the world. Obviously, you know, we have an ample supply of them, but they are so gorgeous. Like, thank you, Mother Nature, for that. I mean, I don't know, you know, sometimes it's just, yeah, the agate strand. Mary says she loves the agate strand. I do too. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Sometimes, depending on what it is, because you guys know I love diamonds and Swarovski, but sometimes I would go for a piece of gorgeous agate over that. And that's not a joke. Like, I have some amazing pieces of agate in my collection. So these are all of the gorgeous strands we've got going on, you guys. They're so, so pretty. The soundtrack is off. I wonder why. It's just one of those things, you know? It's just such an enigma. I can never seem to get it figured out. It is always an issue. So this is the one that we're going to use for our project tonight, and we're actually going to use a pop of leather with this, which you might not actually at first glance think this goes, but I did do it and tried it, and it absolutely does. So this is called Esmerelda. It's a 0.5 millimeter leather that you can grab over on the Jesse James Beads website, and it's actually green, but when you put it with the blues and the turquoise and the teal, you can really kind of see the blue that's in it, right? So that's the leather that we're going to use, and we are going to take advantage of some of those large hole beads that are in here. Those are kind of sprinkled throughout all of these strands. Jane wants to know, what's the code for the short strands? There is not a code for the short strands. These are just brand new out the gate. So there's no code for these. You just add them to your cart and enjoy. All right, so we're going to use a little bit of leather for this, and then we are also going to use some chain, and I'm using that chain that I absolutely cannot pronounce. You guys you guys are really good about pronouncing it for me. It's UTE, so it's either UTE, UTE, I mean, it could be anything, and I don't know which one it is at all. All I know is that it is very, very pretty, and so I thought this combination with the green and this strand would look really, really pretty. We're just going to keep it kind of Ute. Why can't I figure, why? Terry, I'm going to like write that on a Post-it and stick it to my computer screen. Ute. Why can't I figure that out? I think it throws me off because all three letters are capitalized. Maybe that's why I can't, I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So this is the combination that we're going to be using for tonight. We're going to keep it simple. Just a little bit of wire, some jump rings, all of those good things that we have in supply. But if you don't have them, you can grab them on the website. And I'll give you one last little glimpse of these guys. Like, look at that. Seriously. Like, that is large and in charge and wants to be something awesome. They all do. They all want to be something awesome if we're being serious and, you know, honest about it. But they're just so pretty. I just feel like sometimes it does you better to see them in my hand than it does to see them on the computer. The computer pictures are really, really good, but you know, sometimes you got to see it up against some skin tone just to kind of get a feel for it. And then as the size as well. Hi Karen, how are you? Is that quartz? Yes, ma'am. That is a quartz bead right there. Isn't it amazing? I know everybody wants to know, what are you going to do with the huge quartz? I don't know, but I'm feeling like a wire wrapped ring would be pretty amazing, but I don't want to not use the rest of the beads too. I just don't have a big enough finger. So it may just be a bracelet. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, so to put this bracelet together, like I said, we're going to keep this kind of it's quick and easy and fun. That's the way I like to do Monday nights because it is Monday night, and I know that some of you are, you know, you're either cooking dinner or you're getting ready for dinner. If you are, please give me directions to your house, and I will be there as soon as I'm finished here. And those of you who are not are just finishing up your work day. So we like to keep our Monday makers pretty easy, relaxed, right? We get a little more in depth with things on Thursday mornings, but for the most part, Monday makers or Maker Monday, we like to keep it easy breezy. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this leather here, and I don't have an exact measurement on this just because I didn't cut any of it, and I don't really know how much I've got here. It's quite a lot. Looks to be probably about 3 feet of this. I'm just going to fold it in half, and I will definitely have plenty of leftovers. And I'm actually going to go ahead, just to save a little bit of time here, I'm going to thread on a 6mm jump ring and bring that to the center. Just drop that right down, just so that we've got a good connection point on here. We don't have to open and close that jump ring for anything right this second. And then we are going to tie an overhanded knot. And we're going to use this double strand to go through some of these beads. This is a little thin leather, but it's such a good leather. The quality is really, really nice on this leather, and the 0.5 is perfect for going through beads that have a smaller hole, right? Which is hard to do with leather sometimes. So, all right, so just tying an overhanded knot, tied on a jump ring to that, ready to go, okay? Now we are gonna break apart this strand, which makes me a little bit sad because it is gorgeous all by itself, but we got to get to it. So taking it apart here, and I'm going to grab, see these guys with the larger hole? We're going to use these and one of these gorgeous agate beads, and we're going to just knot some of these, okay? I love knots. They're easy to do. They don't take a whole lot. Anybody can do an overhanded knot, which is nice, right? And they always look really good. So I'm going to take one of the large hole beads. I'm going to thread it onto both ends of our leather, and I'm going to drop that down and see how that knot is going to keep it nice and secure and away from the other beads. So again, just another overhanded knot. I almost made this a tying station project, and then I decided I would wait and we'll do tying station for something else. I do love a good tying station project. All right, so now I'm going to thread on another one. Just putting that large hole bead onto both strands, bringing it down. Okay. Joan says she's afraid to use a 0.5 millimeter leather because she's afraid that it will break when you knot it. Well, here's the thing. I have snapped a lot of 0.5 leather, and that's no joke. And your concern is valid because 0.5 leather is a little tricky to work with. But if you'll notice that my knots, I'm not tugging really, really hard. And the cool thing about it is that you don't have to. This leather is really, really supple. And so it really grabs onto itself. So you don't really have to, you don't have to really pull hard when you go to make those knots. Just tie a simple overhanded knot and just pull it down to where you need it to be. And it's going to stay in that shape. It's not going to come undone because it really kind of grips onto itself. So I don't worry about it too much. However, I wouldn't use 0.5 leather to, to like warp a loom, or if you needed it to hold on to some really heavy gemstone beads, I probably wouldn't use it just because of that reason. It's sturdy and it's beautiful, but it does have its limits. All right, I know this will fit on both strands because I did it earlier. Maybe do one at a time here. Hold on. And if not, that's okay. We can always kind of cup this around. Okay, so I don't want to fight with it, but I do want the other one because this one has some of that gorgeous kind of brown going through it. Okay, so I'm just going to thread this on. I can get it onto both of these, but I don't want to stress out the leather here. So I'm just going to thread it onto one, and we're going to drop it down, and then we'll just have it running along the side here. Okay. So if you can get it to go through, great. If you can't, that's okay. You can just do it this way. It just shows off some more of that beautiful leather. I got it to go earlier, but again, I don't want to push it with that leather. It's so pretty, and I don't want to damage it at all. Cutting it at a slant, yeah, that would have worked. Okay, and now back through two ends, back through one bead. Okay. Isn't that pretty? That green, it really brings out the blue when you add that kind of turquoisey color to it. I don't know, at first I didn't think it was going to work, and when I put it together I was like, wow, it really does. That green leather, it could be evergreen, it could be blue green. It really just kind of depends on what you mix it with. I think it's gorgeous. Really. Oh, thank you, Catherine. You guys are so sweet. All right, so this is going to be the last knot in this little section. This bracelet, you guys know how I do bracelets a lot of times. I like to make my bracelets kind of mixed up, right? I don't really want to say mixed media because that's not necessarily true, but I mean, I guess in a way that it is because we're using leather and we're using chain, but I like to mix up my textures with bracelets. I feel like it's a really fun opportunity, and you have a short amount of space. You're usually only working within like an 8-inch area, and it's cool to have these short little sections of fun things in bracelets. So we're going to do our short little section of our knots here, and just easy, you know, bracelets don't have to be super, super hard or intricate or anything. We're going to do a little bit of wire wrapping, but I mean, we're not doing anything crazy tonight. It's Monday, right? I just try to keep it easy breezy on Mondays for everybody's Monday brain. All right, it looks like a tiny globe. It does. It does look like a tiny globe. I love it. I just love it. Love it, love it. Okay, so this is our little knotted section here. Feels kind of earthy and rugged, right? Our little globe here, says Nicole. Lois says these colors are so pretty together. I agree. I totally, totally agree. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is I've got a ring here. It's just a solid ring. A lot of times I cut apart chain, right? And we've talked about this before. I have a really good selection of Jesse James beads chain. And a lot of times I cut it and use sections. It's the same way with my chain reaction. I cut it and I use the sections of it. And I always keep my piecey parts, right? We are going to use the Ute chain, a section of the Ute chain, but this was just a straggler from another chain, and it's in the same kind of color, right? It's in that same kind of muted, kind of matte antique silver color. So use whatever you've got, right? I don't even know what chain this one came from exactly. I do know it was a Jesse James chain because I keep all my Jesse James beads chained together. But you know, just a piecey part is all you're going to need for this, right? And we're just going to take our leather and tie it on to our little piecey part here. If you don't have one of these, you can use a larger jump ring. A 10 or a 12 millimeter jump ring would work, or a quick link would work as well. So I mean, you just use what you've got when it comes to just single items, right? Okay, so now I want to tie an overhanded knot to tie this on. And I want to bring that down pretty close to the knot that we just tied. Okay, now I didn't really plan ahead as far as the dangles are concerned. You guys know I gotta have dangles everywhere. Motorcraft says, has Sarah announced when she's doing the next snack shenanigans? It will be this week at some point. I promise it will be this week. I have the snacks, they're ready to go. I was going to do it today and the day just kind of got away from me. So it's coming up. It's coming up, and there's a maker mystery on Saturday coming up as well. So just stay tuned. All right, so I've tied on my little ring here, and you guys know I love dangles, and I would use the two ends here to tie beads on, but I didn't really think that through as much as I should have. I was going to grab 2 extra beads of some variety to tie on here, and I didn't grab any. You can use from your strand if you want to. I'm just going to kind of cut this sort of short so that I can come back in later if I want to and tie to it, or you can just cut this short and have the leather, the little leather. You know what? Let's just do that, since I didn't, because I don't want to like have a half done design. I just really like the dangles. And I forget there are some on the chain section of this as well, so that's okay, but I like the little leather pieces as well. And you can see I still have quite a bit of this leather left over, so I didn't come close to even using half of what I had. Okay, so we've got this little section ready to go. Okay, and I thought that it would be cool to add a section of this UTE chain to it, and to use up those little loops as a place to put more dangles, because we've got the most amazing beads here. Thought we would use these glass ones and then this other guy right here. But before I do that, I want to make a little section of these. There is something so intriguing about this shape. I don't know why, but I just really am so in love with these. And so I wanted to stack them together and wire wrap them. And I think I'm going to put them up here at the front of the bracelet. I don't know, the configuration, really, you can play around and do this however you want to, as far as like what order you want to put all of this in. So let's just go with it the way that I've got it laid out. We can change it up if we want to later. So I'm just going to use a piece. Whoa, that is a big piece. We did not need all of that. I'm just going to use a piece of 22 gauge German style wire in the silver color. And I'm just going to do a wrapped loop on either end for this little stack of these gorgeous beads here. So I'm going to come down on the wire about 1.5 inches, 2 inches with my chain nose pliers. I'm going to bend the wire, straighten all my pieces out. I've got that backwards 7, right? And then I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers and place the wire so that it's running between the barrel of the pliers. I'm going to take that short end and I'm going to go up and over the top barrel of the pliers. Now I need to roll those pliers out of the way so that I can take that wire all the way over to close up our loop. And I'm going to use that short section to wire wrap underneath our loop about 3 times. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim off the tail. Okay, and now I'm going to thread on these super cool agate beads. I just love these. I don't know why it is, but gosh, they're so cool. There's just something really fun about that. A spacer between the wheels would show off the cut. You know, you might be right about that, Miss Vicky. Let's pop a daisy spacer between them and see what happens. The only reason that I haven't used the spacers is because I'm using silver accents, and the metal in the strand was antique copper, and I just didn't really think that it went together really well. I don't know. I think I like it without, just because it is that copper. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me put the other spacers in between here. These beads are gorgeous. Look at these antique copper. Yes, love, 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 love. But again, I don't know because I'm using the silver. So the silver and the antique copper together? What are we thinking here? I normally don't mind mixing my metals, but I don't know. Sometimes I struggle with copper and silver together. What do you guys think? No spacer? I feel like it's just too big. All right, I'm gonna stick with the without. With the without. I'm just making up my own grammar tonight. But you know what we could do? What if, I love it when we're all kind of designing together. So what about instead of the spacers, everybody, or not everybody, but some people are saying no spacers, some of you are saying mix the metals. So what if we did that wire wrap thing that I do sometimes? Maybe just to bring some more metal accent to this with the silver. Let's just try it. We can always undo it, right? We've got time. We can take back. Too much of a contrast, no spacer. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. But we'll try this and see what you guys think about this. So we'll either do the plain, or we can do, oh, well, I'll have to go back the other way. So we can do the plain, or we can do it this way. Let me show you. So pop on all 3 of these, right? And again, I can cut this apart, so I'm not committed to this. We're just we're just kind of playing together here. I do need to unplug this though. Patty says, what about a small jump ring? Well, that's kind of what I've got in mind here. Let me show you. So instead of a jump ring, I'm just going to use the wire. So up and over. Okay. And then now, what if we do our loop around, right? Or is that too much too? I love it that we're doing this together. That makes me happy. So that didn't turn out exactly like I wanted to. Uh-oh, somebody was mad. Don't be mad. We're here having a good time. We're having fun. So I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe I like it without, to be honest with you. I really just feel like those beads kind of speak their own language, you know? Ruh-roh. Uh-oh. Okay. So I'm gonna not with this one. I'm gonna leave it just like it is. And guys, you know what the cool thing is? Okay, first of all, it's super cool that we can do this together, right? It's also super cool. It says plug us back in. Do I need to plug you back in? Okay. I'll plug you back in. Here we go. Tell me if that... Are we good? Leave it plain. Leave it plain. Yeah, it just speaks its own thing. It is a little loose though. Let's put it on the other one. But here's the thing, guys. Even if you totally hate what I'm making, and I know that there are some of you out there that are like, nope, I don't like that. And that's okay. Because, you know, we're playing, we're hanging out, we're spending time together, and we're spending time with these beads. And as you look at the things that I'm doing with these beads, then you can, you know, you can make a plan for when you've got these beads in your hand. And that's the cool part, right? All I'm doing is just giving you a little inspiration, a little jump start to your creativity, right? And you can play around, right? You can mix in your other favorite Jesse James beads with these and, you know, and come up with something unique to you. So, all right. Oh gosh, Jane's back. All right, so I'm gonna leave it just like that, but that doesn't mean that you guys can't change it, right? You can change it up. Yeah, Tina says love the options. That's what it's all about. It's all about the options. What I do is not the, you know, it doesn't have to be the this is what you must do kind of thing, you know? So, all right, so we didn't open this jump ring before, but we're gonna open it now. And yes, thank you guys for sticking through the technical difficulties. I wish that we had more control over the internet, but sometimes we're kind of at the mercy of, we're either at the mercy of the internet or we're at the mercy of Facebook. Your sound is fuzzy. I'm telling you, it is just always a challenge, but you guys are up for it and I am too, so we'll make it through. All right, so I'll just attach that to a jump ring right down here at the end, and I think I'm going to put my my clasp on this end. You can put the clasp on either end if you want to. We still have a little chain section here that we're going to add, but I want to go ahead and just add this on here so that we can kind of focus on the other end of this bracelet a little bit. Okay, so we've got this so far. Look at those yummy beads. Gosh, they're so good. And I see a couple of opportunities here. So I see an opportunity here to hang some dangles, right? And another opportunity here. And before I had cut that leather off, there was an opportunity there. So like, I love tons of movement in my pieces. So I'm always looking for a place where I can add more movement, right? But I'm gonna just keep on trucking because we've got our little section of the UTE chain here, and I want to add some of this gorgeous sparkle to this, and I do want to kind of pop that other bead. Where did it go? It must have rolled away. Hold on, guys. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Got away from me. The other round bead, the other agate, I want to add that to this to kind of balance out that sparkle. So we are going to have some little hangy-doos here. That stack makes me think of Smarties, says Wanda. I do too. That's what it makes me think of too. But you guys know I have like candy and snacks on the brain. I really, really need to get a hold of that. I definitely have a snack situation. All right, so we're going to do our own knotted head pins here because the hole on the agate bead is a little bit large, and the ones on these guys are not particularly large, but I do feel like my head pins are just a little on the small side for this. So we're just going to make our own, which is always a crowd favorite. So I figure this will be a nice little opportunity to refresh our knotted head pins here. I'm just going to go ahead and cut 3 pieces of the 22 gauge wire. Now the knotted head pins is one of those things that you can always do this with the 24 gauge wire if you want to. Just makes it a little bit smaller of a knot, right? And if you use 20 gauge instead of the 22 gauge, it does make it a little bit chunkier of a knot. So keep all of that in mind, but it's totally up to you. 22 is what I always use, but you know. All right, Tina says she found the popcorn M&Ms. They're really tasty. I know, they're so good. They're so good, and I'm almost out. My kids found them. I try to hide some of my favorite things, but it never fails. They get found. When you live with 3 kids, you can't hide anything snack-wise. Okay, so we're grabbing the end of our 22 gauge wire here, and we are grabbing it right at the tip of the wire as well as the tip of the round nose pliers. Vicki says she has trouble with the knotted head pins. Well, this is a good little refresher for you, and it just takes a little bit of practice, okay? So just go through it slow. We'll go through it slow here. So we're grabbing the tip of the wire at the tip of the round nose pliers, and we are going to roll that wire around the very tip of those pliers. We're going all the way around once, and you can see the cut in the wire, so that's how I know that I've gone all the way around once. A snack situation is another Sarah saying. Oh yeah, it totally is. I have a snack situation. And then we are going to, I have wire wrapped this to my finger. Remember when I talked about if you haven't added your DNA to your designs, then you're doing it wrong? Okay, I have officially wire wrapped myself to this. So let's back that out of my finger. Okay. Now that my finger is free, we're going to wrap around the pliers a second time directly underneath. That was so weird, you guys. Directly underneath the first wraparound. So what we've done basically is we've created a little coil around the very top of our round nose pliers, okay? And you want to keep it as close to the tip of those pliers as possible. My poor finger. With seed beads, I have sewn myself to things before, but that's the first time I've ever wire wrapped myself to something. That's a first. Okay, so we want to keep those 2 coils very close to the tip, the very end of the pliers, okay? Now, before we take them off of the pliers, this is where people have the most problems. And we want to bend the wire out this way. That's going to make sure that you're bending the wire in the right direction, because I feel like if you take it off of the pliers before you make that bend, you're going to look at it and think that you need to bend the wire the other direction, right? But you're actually bending the wire so that it is running underneath the 2 coils, which is not exactly the most natural kind of bend to make, okay? So now we take it off of the pliers and you can see what we've got, okay? Now we want to take the tail end of the wire and we want to go back through. Okay, take a screenshot of that, you guys, if this is where you've got trouble and you can't figure out which direction to bend the wire and which direction you need to go through the 2 coils. Take a screen grab right here, okay? All right, so this is what we've got, and now I'm going to come in with the nylon jaw pliers, and I'm going to grab the wire right next to the 2 coils that I just made. Don't leave any extra wiggle room in between there. You want the coils to be right up against the side of the nylon jaw pliers. You've got your tail coming out this side. You're going to grab that wire and pull. And when you pull, you want to pull nice and tight. Give it a good tug. And you've got yourself a knotted head pin. Okay? Now, we are going to thread on one of these gorgeous beads, and then we're just going to create a wrapped loop on the top. Okay, so I'm just grabbing the wire where it is exiting the bead, bend the wire 90 degrees, and again coming in with the round nose pliers. Let me move all this out of the way. Maybe that'll help a little bit with the focus. Okay, taking the wire up and over the top barrel of the pliers. Now we want to roll the pliers out of the way so that we can go ahead and take that wire on over to the other side. And I'm going to switch hands, and I'm going to wire wrap. And I've got room for about 4 between our loop and the top of the bead. You don't always have room for 4. Normally it's 3. There was enough for 4 on this one. I got lucky. And I'm just going to come in with my cutter tool and trim off the tail as close as possible. Okay, now this guy is ready to go. How pretty is that? Okay, and now we want to repeat this with our 2 glass beads as well. So we're going to go through and make our knotted head pins again, and this time I'm going to go through it a little bit quicker, but exact same steps. Try not to attach myself to it this time. So I'm grabbing the wire, tip of the pliers, tip of the wire. Okay, roll once all the way around the tip of the pliers, roll a second time all the way around the tip of the pliers, stop where you see where you've cut the wire. Okay, and now bend the wire out this way. Okay, off of the pliers, tail end of the wire, back through. Makes like a little lasso, right? Or a speech bubble, like comic books. Okay, now you want to grab that wire, nylon jaw pliers. Most important part of the entire process is the nylon jaw pliers. If you try to do this with regular pliers, you are going to strip the coating off of the outside of your wire, and it is going to destroy it. I know, because I've tried to do it. More than once, actually. In a pinch, when one has needed a head pin, I have tried to do this without the nylon jaw pliers, and trust me, it is not pretty. The results are not good. All right, so give it a good tug. Okay, and again, you've got yourself a little knotted head pin, and we are just going to thread on one of these gorgeous beads. Oh my gosh, those are so pretty. And we're just going to do a wire wrapped loop at the top, just like we did with the other bead. And we're going to repeat this with another one of these beads as well, just to kind of keep everything nice and even. Okay, wrapped loop. I'm going to come in with my cutter tool. How is my finger? It's totally fine. What is really kind of sad is, and I don't know, you guys probably can tell, my hands stay dry all the time. And I have tried every lotion on the planet, and I just have perpetually dry skin on my hands. So I just wire wrap my finger through that whole first layer, and it didn't even bleed, because that's how dry my skin is. It's just my hands though. Like, the rest of my body is not like that. I promise you, I have you know, I'm not dried up and wrinkly everywhere. It's just my hands. Okay, this conversation just got really weird, so I'm just going to continue on. We're going to make one more wrapped loop. Tough as nails. That is so true. Definitely. All right, so rolling that wire around the tip of my round nose pliers once, I'm going to wrap it around a second time. Stop where you see that flush cut in the wire. See that little shiny surface right there? That lets me know I've gone around twice. I'm going to bend the wire out this direction. Okay, taking it off of the pliers, thread that right back through, just like so. Coming in with the nylon jaw pliers, and we're going to give it a pull. Okay. All right, now we're going to put on our next beautiful glass bead. Those are so pretty. Those would make the prettiest earrings, right? I mean, just an ear wire is all you need, and that is just a gorgeous, gorgeous earring. Those beads are fabulous. All right, same thing, so another wrapped loop. Nicole says she would have needed stitches. It takes a lot. It takes a lot on these hands, and it's just because it's just the nature of the job, right? Of course, some of it has to do with the fact that we nowadays have to wash our hands 75,000 times a day, and that definitely dries out your skin. But when you work with cord and wire and leather on a regular basis, it really, really takes a toll on your skin. That's no joke. So I know I'm not the only one. All right. So there's our wire wrapped loop. Okay, and there we go. Oh my gosh, Wendy, you are awesome. Oh my gosh, Wendy, I need to get back in touch with you. I'm so sorry. That just totally, but you were hilarious. Thank you. That was so funny. What were you guys talking? Sorry, I was rolling back on the comments here because I see that Jean says, I was going to say, does she realize many more guys might decide they love jewelry? All of a sudden you'll have hundreds more subscribers. What are y'all talking about? What's the secret? I want to know. How do we get the rest of those subscribers in here? We definitely need to we need to get some of the men in here to make some jewelry. There are some amazing wire wrappers out there, and they are men. Not that there's anything wrong with women wire wrappers, but I'm just saying, like, how do we get them to come and play with us? Okay, so here is our little piece of the UTE chain. Oh, my soft skin. I'm definitely not attracting anybody with this skin. I just wire wrapped it to myself. Oh, and I got to show you guys something. It's so funny. So since we're being a little silly tonight, look at what I have. Ta-da! Remember, I ran last week. I've made, will not run out anytime soon. So I have like a mega pack of jump rings, and they did not come in the container. I just ordered a bunch of packs and then dumped them into this cutie little container. So, so I now have jump rings, but I thought thought you just needed to know that, because everybody was like, I'll send you some jump rings. Like, I got the jump rings. It's just going to take a minute for me to get them. Okay, so I'm just going to use the jump rings. Am I frozen? Because I see you guys going by. Oh no. And I'm going to attach our bead here, and I've got my little UTE chain piece here, has got 5 of the little rings. So I'm going to hook this guy to that middle one and then just close it back, and then I'm just going to put the other 2 glass beads on the other side. Now again, this is another opportunity to attach more dangles and make more movement. This whole little section here could be a little charm section if you wanted it to be. Again, I really like to kind of mix up these sections of bracelets. That's one of my favorite things to do with bracelets. There's nothing wrong with just a straight stringing bracelet. I think they're absolutely gorgeous, but I do like to play around and, you know, break up the little areas of bracelets and make them all a little something different here and there. So got our little charm section, if you will, with our gorgeous beads, and again, you could add more to that if you wanted to, but just a beautiful little, you know, just a little added movement area. And we still have more beads, so it's not like we are you know, it's not like we're out. Right? We've got these gorgeous antique copper beads. If I had used copper chain, I think that would have looked gorgeous, which if you wanted to mix this in, you totally could. I just stuck with the silver for tonight, but I still have these gorgeous rondelles and another one of the little agate slices. So I could make earrings if I wanted to out of these guys. I could add him on here anywhere that I wanted to. You could add these guys for more sparkle. So still a lot of options here, and this little section kind of you know, it's calling for some more dangle and fun, but we're just going to leave it like it is. We're going to add a jump ring to the end of this. And this little section is done, but we need to attach it. We need to attach it to this little ring here in the middle with one more jump ring, and then I believe we shall call this one done for tonight, you guys. Just quick and easy, even though there are some different little sections here, a lot going on, but still easy. So still what I would consider instant gratification jewelry, which is some of my favorite. Can't quite decide which. Okay. Let me straighten this guy back out instead of turning it around in circles in my hand a million times. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to attach just like so. And now we just really have a unique kind of piece here. And if you need to adjust the length on this, of course, you can always add extra jump rings at the end. Extension chain on the end would be perfect. I know this is a little small for some people. I do have a teeny beeny wrist, so I always design on the small side when it comes to bracelets, but you could have lengthened up the leather section by adding both of the agate rounds. That's going to add you some length here, right? A bigger ring here, the solid ring, that's also going to add you some length. And then of course you can always cut your chain piece a little bit longer, or if you want to keep everything just like it is and just add jump rings or an extension chain to the end, then that works as well, right? But you've got a fun bracelet that's got a lot of different things going on. So you've got your gorgeous just stack of these yummy beads. You've got your knotted section here, right? And then you have this charm section that you could fill up with anything that you wanted to, and it has that extra kind of sparkle and bling to it, right? So you can add more to it or not at all, but I feel like it turns into, you know, it's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It definitely is my personality, because I'm a little bit earthy, but I gotta have the sparkle and the bling and the movement. So I don't know. I think it turned out pretty. I hope you guys liked it. You know, if anything, I hope that I've given you some inspiration. This was a quick and easy design, but really kind of utilizing the chain and showing off those gorgeous, gorgeous beads. That strand was just so good. It would have looked pretty if we had just transferred it to, you know, some bead stringing wire and just added a clasp to it, which sometimes I come very close to doing, and I have to remind myself, no, I have to show you guys something. Gotta show you guys something and give you some extra inspiration if you don't want to do it with, or if you don't want to just straight string it. You are so welcome. I'm going to turn you guys around and we will say our goodbyes. I feel like it was short tonight, but we did talk about a lot of different things, right? And we talked about how the beads can be so many different things, right? Even if you hate the design that I made, you're not going to hurt my feelings, but maybe I've given you some inspiration to take and use in your own, you know, your own jewelry designs. Maybe you don't like to mix chain and leather, or maybe you've never mixed chain and leather before. Maybe this will be what kind of sparks your creativity in that direction, because I feel like it can be really, really fun to mix up the different textures that are in your jewelry designs. So I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, I'm ready to go eat some dinner. Whose house am I coming to eat at? Nobody told me. I saw there was somebody making some chicken pot pie. I may be headed over your way. So if you hear a knock at the door, it's probably just me. Just, you know, just put some food out for me. Turn the light on. I'll be okay. I'll bring my own spoon. All right. Guys are so wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you have enjoyed it. I'm going to take some quick pictures of this so that they can get hooked up on the blog for you guys, so that you can use it as some reference. And of course, you guys can catch me. It's just Monday, so we're just getting started here. Don't forget about the weekly deals, right? The chain, the cage beads, and the charms and pendants. That's like a whole bunch of really good deals right there. Let me just run back through them again. So buy 4 get 1 free on the cage crystal beads, 10% off all chain, and 30% off charms and pendants. And if you need those codes again, or if you have forgotten what they were, on the website, when you go over to the website, just click on weekly deals and it'll bring them all up. And you can also click on shop this section and it'll take you directly to that section, so you don't have any questions about whether or not it actually applies to that or not. Okay. And you guys can catch me again on Wednesday at 1 p.m. I will have another project for you guys. It will be a design on the fly. That's what we do for Wednesdays now. We're doing designs on the fly on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And then of course our regular scheduled 11 a.m. project, that's Eastern time as well, on Thursdays, where we do a little bit, we do a little deeper dive, if you will. Always try to keep it easy and fun, but you know, sometimes we're a little heavier on the techniques on Thursdays. All right, guys, have a wonderful rest of the night, and I will hopefully see you guys again day after tomorrow. Have a great one, you guys. Bye, guys.